Well, Dr. Cass, we're going to continue with our Cascades series. We've talked about adrenals. Tell me a little bit about how to recognize the fact that you're having a little problem with cognition and to be able to attack it as early as possible. It's a real concern for those of us that are further on in life as well, because it's a natural occurring situation too, isn't it?
It is, and people say, oh, well, I can't remember names, I can't remember where I put my keys, I can't remember where I parked my car. Now, some of that's a little normal. You know, with stress, our memory gets a little jumbled. And in fact, stress, by the way, stress actually impairs memory. So that's another really good reason to diminish your stress. Do whatever you can to relieve your stress. But we also have some very good nutrients that help to balance our brain and restore some brain function.
For instance?
For instance, phosphatidylcholine. It's a precursor to acetylcholine, which is a memory molecule. It's a neurotransmitter that helps to transmit memory messages. So phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylserine, 100 milligrams 2 to 3 times a day. And by the way, with the phosphatidylcholine, it comes in acetylcholine or alpha-GPC. There are a number of forms of choline, and they all have their advantages and disadvantages. Also ginkgo, a very good herb for enhancing brain blood flow. Also vinpocetine, which also increases blood flow to the brain. And all of those will help to keep your memory, or actually help to restore your memory when you're starting to lose it.
And meditation?
Very important. The meditation aspect is the calming of your brain. And the less you stress your brain, and the calmer you're able to be, the more you're preserving your brain tissue. You know, there's a part of the brain called the hippocampus, and that is particularly susceptible to stress. Cortisol, which is one of the stress hormones, cortisol actually destroys hippocampal cells. You do not want to destroy hippocampal cells. However, the good news is they can be restored. You know, we used to think that you can't restore anything in the brain, that you have a certain number of neurons and that's it. Well, it turns out that these neurons in the hippocampus that have to do with memory can actually be restored if you can lower your cortisol. And another product for lowering cortisol is Relora that I've prescribed for my patients. That helps to lower the cortisol, which also helps with that little belly that you tend to get with stress and with age, because cortisol goes up, the belly goes out, and your hippocampal cells go down. So all of that, it's a very good idea to have whatever it takes to lower your cortisol. DHEA will also lower cortisol. That's a hormone.
I'd like to make a personal comment.
Yes.
I have been taking phosphatidylserine for 12 years. I think it's wonderful. Relora, whenever I feel stress coming on, I've finally been convinced to take Relora. It's great. The last thing I would say is that we had a dog who was suffering unbelievable dementia, and we put him on a program.
He couldn't remember names.
That's right. His own, even. We put him on a program using phosphatidylserine, and I can't even tell you how much it brought him back. Wow. So it's not only us, it's our best friends. We really need to look into what nutritional supplementation can do to help us with these problems we're going to run into and bring us back to where we need to be. And thank you.
You're welcome. By the way, you know what's interesting? People like my mother say, oh, all these pills, I can't take all these pills. Well, what I say is, what a miracle that we have the knowledge, we have the research and the resources. We can actually buy these pills and make such a tremendous difference in our lives.
Isn't that great?
So I'm very grateful that we have all of this. And that's why, and I'm very happy to be teaching people and writing about all of these wonderful nutrients so people can take them in their own lives and make their own lives better.
I couldn't agree with you more. Thanks.